Yo, what's up guys, Gaming Magic 13 here, and welcome back to the 100% walkthrough for LEGO Batman the video game. Today I'll be playing through the third villain level of the Riddler's Revenge, Green Finger, and picking up the super villain achievement along the way. Just as with Clayface, Poison Ivy has the ability to double jump. At this point, I'm not even going to explain how to get through the police officer encounters, because they're so easy to take down that it's not even worth an explanation. You just punch and kick them until they all die. When you're ready to proceed, bust open these boxes towards the bottom of the screen and then reassemble them into a flower vehicle. Use this flower vehicle to bust through both of the silver gates on the left and the right. In the section on the right, break open these flowers and then reassemble them all into a rotator switch. Make sure your partner is standing on that brown platform over there, and then push on the green side of the rotator switch to send him up. Once you push the Riddler up as far as he can go, he will automatically jump onto the other brown platform, allowing you to step onto the one he was just sitting on, and then ride to the top. Then, from that second brown platform, jump onto the handrails as Poison Ivy and shimmy across. Once you make it to the other side, break open the statue and then reassemble the pieces into a tightrope for the Riddler to catch up. Poison Ivy can also move through toxic waste just like Mr. Freeze could. So move Poison Ivy through to the other side and then pull the lever, and then as the Riddler, pull the other lever. That will open up the doorway. And if you want to grab some extra studs before you move into the building, there are going to be some extra studs on these handrails and along this ledge on the left hand side. Similar to Mr. Freeze from last time, Poison Ivy has the ability to cause flowers to grow out of flower pots. Hold down the build button near any of these brown flower pots and flowers will sprout from out of them, acting as platforms for the Riddler to cross the toxic waste. Poison Ivy's just fine, but Riddler's gonna have some problems, because the Riddler's pretty much useless in all aspects except for mind control. When you're ready to move on, grow another flower out of this flower pot right here, and then bounce up the red mushrooms by holding down the jump button as you move between them, and then grab onto this handle up here. The Riddler can't make it up here because, again, he can't move through toxic waste, but Poison Ivy's just fine, so move through the toxic waste and then push the statue off the edge. Then reassemble the pieces to fall into a window for the Riddler to use his mind control abilities on. This area is where you're going to get most of your studs for Supervillain, because there are a lot of plants to break, and I mean a lot of plants. You can't see many right now, but you're going to see them in a minute once we push past this first wave of enemies. And you're starting to see them a little bit, but there's a lot of plants in this area. So the first portion of this level, or this section, is going to be just me running around and breaking all the plants. So you don't really need to see what I'm breaking, just break everything in the area, and you will be very close to getting that Supervillain achievement. When you're done smashing plants, switch to the Riddler and take control of this guy behind the window right here, and then pull on this lever to get some more pieces to fall out. Then reassemble the pieces into, well, I'll just let you see for yourself. You'll be rushed by a squad of policemen, but again, there's a reason I haven't been explaining these encounters up until this point. Just a few punches and kicks will take them down. But anyway, let's talk about what we just built. A plant that can move and which you can control. This is awesome. It's also what you're going to use to break down all those silver trees from earlier, and also what you're going to use to get out of this area. To deal with any police officers that may rush you, push the attack button with this plant and it will be an instant kill. Beyond that, it's just a matter of bashing up all the silver trees you couldn't break before, and then breaking the gate at the far right of the area in order to continue on with the level. Unfortunately, you do have to leave this guy behind. Break open these boxes and reassemble the pieces into a swan, which you can control. Ride this thing extremely carefully through these mines. You will have to make the slightest turns and move with the smallest amount of momentum possible. Basically, the opposite of what I'm doing here. I think I actually end up setting off one of these mines eventually. Then I learn from my mistakes and realize that you have to turn slow. Yep, there it is. You have to turn slowly and move with the smallest amount of momentum possible to get around these mines. The stud trail is incredibly helpful, but if you decide to go off the stud trail like I do here and just try and collect all the studs, you are going to have to rely on your own judgment to move as quickly and yet also smoothly as possible around these mines to avoid bumping into them. This is a tricky stud to grab right here, but I just barely grabbed it. And then once you're done with this area, you can just hop out and move on to the next area. Also, don't worry about grabbing all the studs in that lake if you're worried about touching any of the mines, because there's plenty to grab with those 3 blue studs up there. And if that doesn't push you over the edge, then there will still be plenty more to break in the next area. When you're ready to proceed, switch to the Riddler and take control of one of these scientists, and then use the scientist to break the 2 green canisters on either side. One side will have a valve ready to go, the other will have pieces you need to assemble into a lever. Pull the lever and step on the valve one time to open the doors. Then fight the scientists that you just took control of because they've outlived your usefulness to you. For this area, take control of Poison Ivy and then walk across the toxic goo, and then defeat the 2 scientists on the other side. Then break open all these objects and reassemble the pieces into a big green tractor. Ride the tractor across the toxic goo and then hop out and let Riddler take control of the tractor because the Riddler can't cross toxic goo, but Poison Ivy can. So switch to the Riddler, jump on the tractor and then drive across, and Poison Ivy will follow right behind. Then use the Riddler's mind control on this door right here, and that will open the door forth. Switch back to Poison Ivy and have her go all the way through these toxins, then climb the ladder to pull the lever, and then step on the switch. There's also going to be one more switch down on the bottom level, that I didn't quite hit the first time. That will get rid of all the goo and also open a hatch forth, so step through the hatch and then move to the other side. Break open all these pieces and reassemble them to finish the elevator. If you're not sure where the last boxes are with pieces, then simply grow 2 flowers out of these flower pots and then jump on top of them to access the final batch of parts. Bust open these objects and then the final parts will fall and you can reassemble them to finish off the elevator. To complete the mission, you have to hit these 3 switches. To hit the first one, just step on it. It's the one with the blinking red light. It's already ready for you to step on. For the second lever, use the Riddler to take control of this guy up here and then push the statue off the edge. Then don't disconnect control of this guy so that you don't have to be bombarded with police officers, because the police officers won't attack you if you're still controlling this guy. Then reassemble the pieces into this power box right here, activating the second lever for you to hit. Then disconnect control and defeat all the police officers, then step on the second lever. For the last one, break all these red flowers in the back right corner right here, and then reassemble the pieces into a button for you to step on. For this to work, you need to jump up and down on this thing 3 times in succession. So if you step off of this thing once, or if you just get knocked off by a police officer, you have to do it all over again. It has to be 3 times in succession for this thing to send power to the lever. Once it does, step on the lever to end the level. For completing this level, we unlocked Poison Ivy. Alright, and that's going to do for this episode of the LEGO Batman the Video Game 100% walkthrough. So, I would like to thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode, and until then, this has been Gaming Magic 13. Signing off, saying I hope you have a fantastic local day, and I will catch you next time where we're going to be playing through the 4th villain level of the Riddler's Revenge and Enterprising Theft. Goodbye!